If you woke up one morning and found that $10.5 million had been transferred mistakenly to your bank account, what would be your next move? That is exactly what happened to one woman in Australia. Let's find out more. Today's episode is sponsored by Cake Wallet, where you can send, receive, and even exchange your crypto right from within the wallet. Cake Wallet is open source and non-custodial, so you control your own private keys. Available today on iOS, macOS, Android, and Linux. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the latest episode of Enter Crypto, where every day I keep you informed and fully up to date on all things crypto. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, then like, subscribe, and click on the notifications bell so that you don't miss out on anything. Now, today we're going to be talking about an article I found in news.com.au. It's an Australian news site. This is their finance section, and as always, guys, we'll quickly read through the article and then we'll comment after. So, the $10.5 million dilemma. How one woman spent big after a crypto cash transfer mistake. A Melbourne woman has pleaded guilty to using proceeds of crime after she spent up using cash that was accidentally transferred to her account. It's the ultimate moral dilemma, the article says. Millions of dollars are accidentally transferred into your account and no one seems to notice. So do you return the money? Or dive headfirst into your new lavish lifestyle and set out on a spending spree? For Theva Manogari Manivel, a 41-year-old Malaysian national living in Melbourne, it was the latter. But that decision is now coming back to haunt her. On Friday, Manivel pleaded guilty to recklessly dealing with proceeds of crime after currency giant Crypto.com mistakenly deposited $10.5 million into her Commonwealth bank account, instead of a $100 refund, 7 News reports. Instead of returning the money, Manivel and her partner splurged on multiple houses and luxury items, including a car for one of her 3 children, furniture and art. She also paid off a friend's mortgage. The court heard the crypto company, which paid Hollywood star Matt Damon to feature in a Super Bowl commercial with the slogan, "Fortune favours the brave," had accidentally entered an account number in the payment field when it should instead have entered a measly $100 refund in May 2021. Extraordinarily, the plaintiffs allegedly did not realise this significant error until some 7 months later, in late December 2021, Supreme Court Judge James Dudley Elliott found. The mistake had only been discovered after a company audit 2 days before Christmas, but by the time Crypto.com, one of the world's largest crypto trading platforms, realised what had happened, a big chunk of it had already been spent. Manivel told the court that her boyfriend had convinced her it was a prize from Crypto.com. The company contacted the Commonwealth Bank, which contacted Manivel on 2 occasions in January 2022 to discuss the matter. She later told police she believed both messages were scam calls, The Age reports, and immediately following the communication from the Commonwealth Bank, Manivel transferred $2 million to an account in Malaysia with HSBC Bank in her name. This is according to prosecutor Bruce Nibbs. Later that month, she transferred another $2 million to her overseas account. 6 weeks later, police arrested her at Melbourne Airport trying to flee to Malaysia with $11,000. The county court heard Manivel had since returned more than $8 million and settled with the crypto company. Manivel's barrister Jessica Willard said her client had no criminal record and an otherwise unblemished personal history. Her co-accused and former partner Jatinder Singh will appear in court on other charges next week. He has pleaded not guilty and Manivel will be sentenced in September. And so this is really unfortunate. I don't think she deserves to go to prison. I mean, I know it's wrong to spend or take anything that's not yours, but in this instance it's kind of not her fault. Of course, it would have, in an ideal world, she would have gone to the bank and said, "Where's this money come from?" But it's not like she went into the she went and stole it or took it from anybody. It was in her bank account, and actually the mistake was on the processors that work at Crypto.com. It's essentially Crypto.com's fault. They have made the mistake here. And I know that this will split people because people will say, she should have been absolutely honest. She should have gone to the bank and she should have questioned where did this money come from, and she would have been cleared of any criminal convictions or of any criminal charges that might come her way later. But also there'll be a lot of people saying, well, she did nothing wrong at all. You know, she just went to the bank, found out one day she's got an extra 10 million in the bank, and then she's just decided to spend that money. She hasn't actually stolen it from anywhere. And there's also another group of people which might fall into either of those two previous camps that would say, well, what would you actually do in real life? It's very easy to sit here and say, oh, well, of course I would go to the bank. But just imagine waking up and there's an extra $10 million in your bank. Would you be truly honest? Because I suspect there would be a lot of people that wouldn't be. But I suspect there'd be a lot of people that would as well, because out of fear. And, you know, going to the bank and realising there's such a huge amount of money in your bank might cause a lot of panic in some people, and they might want to go to the bank to find out to clear themselves quite as quickly as possible. But as the article says, it does bring up the moral dilemma, and forces you to ask the question, you know, what would you do in that situation? A very easy question to answer when it's not you and it's hypothetical, but in reality, what would you actually do? So an interesting and fun article. Don't forget, guys, thank you for watching and thank you for listening. As always, like, subscribe, and click on the notifications bell so that you don't miss out on any future updates. And I'll see you all tomorrow evening.